Today, the FDA received an application for a new drug to treat spinal muscular atrophy.
This is great news for thousands of families, including mine. My granddaughter Scarlett was born with the deadly genetic disease known as SMA. And even if this new drug isn't touted as an actual cure, it will slow SMA down considerably. And here's the proof.
This is a story of two children with an identical disease, spinal muscular atrophy, a genetic condition that robs children of their muscles. Jace Dorer of Royal Oak is one of those children. My granddaughter Scarlett is the other. But while Scarlett continues to lose strength every day, typical for SMA children, Jace is getting stronger.
Do you feel strong? All right, good.
So what's the difference? A drug called nusinersen, which in the last few weeks began the process of gaining FDA approval. We followed Jace to Chicago as he became part of the clinical trials 15 months ago.
We saw improvements, I think, after about 3 months or so, but we weren't really ready to admit that they were actually improvements yet.
What other kinds of things are you seeing from him that he's getting better at?
Just strength in general. He pulls himself up to a stand at a lower table. He definitely could not do that before.
He's apparently very good at that.
Yes, he can lift up his hands. He could not really easily before.
As part of those trials, Jace's parents didn't know whether he was getting the drug or a placebo. But watching Jace over the last year, they have no doubt.
But kids don't show these sort of improvements in SMA. They just don't. I mean, improvements are so minimal if there are any. Scarlett's
condition is more typical, a continued loss of strength until eventually critical systems like the lungs fail. But with nusinersen, now there's hope.
Within a year, we may have the very first approved treatment for this disease for families, for patients available.
Kenneth Hobby runs Cure SMA, an organization dedicated to helping find a cure. After 30 years of research, nusinersen is the closest they've come.
We believe this is a treatment that will slow things down, buy us more time. Hopefully, if it's really good, stop the further progression. That's going to give us then the ability to bring new drugs, other drugs to bear, which hopefully could eventually work out to be the cure to actually reverse the symptoms of this disease.
This is a medicine that's moved faster than any medication I've ever been involved in.
Dr. Stanley Crook is founder of ISIS Pharmaceuticals, now renamed Ionis, the company that developed nusinersen. Last summer, he told me about the drug's amazing promise.
We see significant improvements in muscle strength by any measure that we've used, and there have been a number. And we see these children doing things that they would not be expected to do. We even have children who could not walk, who are walking.
Seeing results like this, in the last few weeks, researchers cut the clinical trials short, convinced they have a drug that works and is safe. And just today, Ionis and partner Biogen submitted nusinersen to the FDA for approval, which means the drug may be available to kids like Scarlett within the next year. Now, while that is promising to families like mine, our frustration is we're so close, yet so far.
People really are saying they've got something that works, and yet you can't get your hands on it. There's a lot of frustration around that.
For Jace Dorer's parents, it's not frustration they feel, but guilt.
I have a hard time being around other families who are not in the trial because I feel so, you have so much guilt, but I wouldn't trade it in for anything. I just want everyone to have access to it. And I'm glad I'm there to help pave the way.
You've got my thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. If everything stays on track, Scarlett may be able to get that drug inside of a year. Biogen's actually applied for a priority review, which if granted would shorten the review time to just 6 months.
Now, I know we've talked about it. Time is of the essence for Scarlett. She needs it now.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, there's some kids in worse shape than that are deteriorating much faster. It'd be great to get it now and just stop the deterioration, then we can go on to work towards that cure where she could actually start getting muscles back.
But this is great news.
Great news. It's very, very good news. We're very, very encouraged.
Very promising for sure.
Right.